6:45. This is a Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Danushka Madhavala and read by Lavani Vijayathunga. First, we take a look at the headlines. A report will be issued to the International Monetary Fund regarding releasing the import restrictions in the country. Electronic passport will be issued within this year. The final rites of the chief prelate of the Amarapura Mahanikaya, Aggamaha Pandita, Most Venerable Dodampahala Chandrasiri Mahanayaka Thera, will take place today. Arrangements are finalized to conduct the GC ordinary level examinations on the 29th of this month. Special dengue eradication programs will be implemented in the northwestern province from tomorrow. Minister Bandula Gunawardene emphasized, irrespective of any obstacle, he will digitalize the ticketing system within the next 3 months. In news overseas, Biden to meet Zelensky as G7 summit concludes in Japan. And in sports news, Manchester City wins the Premier League for the third consecutive season. Those were the headlines, and now let's move on to the details of the local news. State Minister Shehan Semasinga says that a report will be issued to the International Monetary Fund regarding the releasing of import restrictions on the country. The minister said that the report is being prepared at present. The Immigration and Immigration Controller Harsha Ilukpedia says that the electronic passport will be issued within this year. Procurement process has now commenced in this regard. Several countries have come forward to facilitate this measure. The final rites of the chief prelate of the Amarapura Mahanikaya, Aggamaha Pandita, Most Venerable Dodampahala Chandrasiri Mahanayaka Thera, will take place today at the Independence Square at 3 p.m. with full state honours. Commissioner General of Buddhist Affairs Sunanda Karyaperuma said that the remains of the late Mahanayaka Thera lie at the Gotama Tapovanaya in Kalapaluava in Rajagiriya, and the cortege will leave the temple at 1 p.m. today. The Mahanayaka Thera of the Amarapura Nikaya, Most Venerable Dodampahala Chandrasiri Thera, passed away on Tuesday. The Mahanayaka Thera was born on the 20th of December 1939 at Dodampahala in the southern province. Commissioner General of Examinations Amit Jayasundara said that arrangements are finalized to conduct the GC ordinary level examination on the 29th of this month. The examination will be conducted in 3,568 centres in the island until the 8th of June. This is the news from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. And we continue with more local news. Special dengue eradication programs will be implemented in the northwestern province from tomorrow to the 28th of this month. Accordingly, school surroundings, educational institutes, state and private sector institutions and all other premises will be continuously checked for cleanliness from tomorrow onwards. This will be done to curtail the spread of dengue. Minister Manusha Nanayakara has handed over air tickets to 23 persons to serve in Israel as healthcare officers. It was held at the Foreign Employment Bureau under the patronage of the minister. This is the 57th team which will be travelling to Israel. Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardene said that Provincial Road Passenger Transport Authority should work coordinatingly with the central government all the time. There are few simple steps to develop the passenger transport sector. By using the QR system while issuing tickets, the income can be doubled. The minister emphasized, irrespective of any obstacle, he will digitalize the ticketing system within the next 3 months. And to conclude the local news, the headlines once again. A report will be issued to the International Monetary Fund regarding releasing of import restrictions in the country. Electronic passport will be issued within this year. The final rites of the chief prelate of the Amarapura Mahanikaya, Aggamaha Pandita, Most Venerable Dodampahala Chandrasiri Mahanayaka Thera, will take place today. Arrangements are finalized to conduct the GC ordinary level examinations on the 29th of this month. Special dengue eradication programs will be implemented in the northwestern province from tomorrow. Minister Bandula Gunawardene emphasized that irrespective of any obstacle, he will digitalize the ticketing system within the next 3 months. And that was the local news.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
The main news story for this morning, Education Minister Dr. Susi Premajanta said that 7,800 graduates of the National Colleges of Education will be offered new appointments as teachers on the 15th of June. Speaking during an event organized to grant scholarships to students from low-income families, Minister Premajayantha said that the appointments will be the first step to address the teacher shortages in provincial and national schools. The minister also said that after granting approval, steps will be taken to recruit teachers at the national and provincial levels among graduates under the age of 35 for the subject areas where there is a shortage of teachers such as science, technology and language. He added that in the coming year, that's the 2024, the studies at schools will be gradually normalized so that both the GC ordinary level examination and the advanced level examination can be held in the same year. And that was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Sidhalepa Vedamahatmya.
In Washlai this morning, consultant physician Dr. Ananda Vijay Vikrama said yesterday that lives of dengue fever patients are in danger as they seek hospital treatment only after developing serious symptoms. Most of the patients arrive at the hospitals very late for treatment. He also stated that hospitalization after developing serious symptoms puts the patients' lives at risk. He said that dengue fever patients are being treated in wards exceeding the capacity of the hospitals and major hospitals across the country, including the IDH, Kalubovila, Homagama and other main hospitals around the country. If a person has fever symptoms for more than 48 hours, he or she should do a full blood count. He also said that people suffering from fever should not be given any pain reliever except for paracetamol. That came to you in Watchlight, and now let's move on to the headlines of the world news. Biden to meet Zelensky as G7 summit concludes in Japan. Ukraine war, Kiev rejects Wagner claim over Bakhmut. Greece recovers hundreds of stolen artifacts. Those are the headlines, and now let's move on to the details of the world news. It is the final day of the G7 summit in Hiroshima, where leaders have agreed to more sanctions to starve the Russian war machine. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky made their last-minute arrival on Saturday. His visit comes as the US has agreed to allow allies to provide their F-16 fighter jets to Ukraine, greatly boosting Kiev's air capability. G7 leaders have already issued their summit communique in which they condemned Russia. Leaders also warned against economic cohesion, which China is accused of using against several countries. Beijing on Saturday expressed strong dissatisfaction with that statement and complained to the G7 host Japan. The summit will close on Sunday with Zelensky, US President Joe Biden and Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida expected to speak. Russian mercenaries are in full control of the Ukrainian city of Bakhmut, their chief says, a claim immediately dismissed by the Ukrainian officials. We took the whole city, said Yevgeny, posing with some of his Wagner fighters. Ukraine's deputy defense minister rejected the claim but admitted the situation was critical. Wagner mercenaries have been leading the efforts to take the eastern city and previously claimed they have seized it. Bakhmut is of little strategic importance to Russia, which has been trying to capture it for months. Ukraine, for its part, has also decided to make a stand in the battle, which comes in the longest and the bloodiest of the war so far. Greece says it has recovered hundreds of looted artifacts, including a 2nd century bronze statue of Alexander the Great. The trove was recovered after a legal battle with a company of a British antiquities dealer, officials said. Robin Symes had amassed thousands of pieces as part of his network of illegal traders. For years, Greece has been fighting to recover looted artifacts from the museum and private collections worldwide. The announcement that 351 objects from Siamese collections were being repatriated after a 17-year legal battle was made by Greek Cultural Minister Lina Mendoni on Friday. Ms. Mendoni said she did not say if the artifacts were linked to the discovery by Italian and Swiss police in the year 2016. And to conclude the world news, the headlines once again. Biden to meet Zelensky as G7 summit concludes in Japan. Ukrainian war, Kiev rejects Wagner claim over Bakhmut. Greece recovers hundreds of stolen artifacts. And that was the world news.
Development news.
In development news, Sri Lanka's High Commissioner to India, Milinda Moragoda met India's Minister of Power and New and Renewable Energy, Shri Rajkumar Singh, in New Delhi on Thursday to discuss ways and means of furthering enhancing the cooperation with India in the power and renewable energy sector. The duo discussed a range of issues pertaining to bilateral cooperation in the power and renewable energy sector, and this also included grid connectivity between Sri Lanka and India. The discussion particularly focused on the ways and means to deepen and broaden the long-term strategic cooperation in the sector. That came to you in the segment of development news, and now let's move on to sports news. New Zealand's women's cricket team will arrive in the island on the 23rd of this month for a match tour. 3 one-day matches and 3 T20 matches are to be played between Sri Lankan women team and the New Zealand's women team. Sri Lanka Cricket Institute said that arrangements have been made to conduct the one-day international cricket tournaments at Galle International Cricket Ground, and the T20 matches is scheduled to be played at the Pisara Stadium in Colombo. The first match will begin on the 27th of June in Galle. That was the sports news. Business news coming up.
Go ekak tiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු හීන හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IAM, a plan for your dream.
Business news sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
In business news, John Allen is stepping down as the chairman of Tesco following allegations over his conduct. Mr. Allen, who was also a former president of the CBI Business Lobby Group, has strongly denied 3 of the 4 claims made against him. However, board members Byron Grote, who will temporarily replace Mr. Allen as the chairman, said these allegations risk becoming a distraction to Tesco. Tesco said it had made no findings of wrongdoing, and Mr. Allen will leave Tesco in June after 8 years in the role. That was the business news. Economic news follows.
Business news sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekak tiyana youth එකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු හීන හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IAM, a plan for your dream.
In economic news, a deal to build a multi-billion-pound electric car battery factory in the UK is understood to be close to completion. The BBC understands the gigafactory for Jaguar Land Rover will be built at the Gravity Business Park in Somerset. Up to 9,000 jobs would be created at the Bridgewater site close to M5. Talks between the British government and JLR owner Tata are believed to be at an advanced stage after offers of incentive by the Chancellor Jeremy Hunt. That was the economic news and the weather report to conclude.
Weather report.
And finally, the weather report. Showers or thunder showers will occur at times in the Western Province and in the Galle and Mathura districts. Showers or thunder showers will occur in several places in the Sabaragamuwa, Central, Eastern and Over provinces during the evening or night. And before we conclude this bulletin, let's get back to the headlines once again. A report will be issued to the International Monetary Fund regarding releasing of import restrictions in the country. Electronic passport will be issued within this year. The final rites of the chief prelate of the Amarapura Mahanikaya, Aggamaha Pandita Most Venerable Dodampala Chandrasiri Mahanayaka Thera, will take place today. Arrangements are finalized to conduct the GC ordinary level examinations on the 29th of this month. Special dengue eradication programs will be implemented in the northwestern province from tomorrow. Minister Bandula Gunawardana emphasized that irrespective of any obstacle, he will digitalize the ticketing system within the next 3 months. In news overseas, Biden to meet Zelensky as G7 summit concludes in Japan. And in sports news, Manchester City wins the Premier League for the 3rd consecutive season. And with that, we conclude this bulletin of news.